prepare your defenses and grab a cup of recaf, because we are returning back to the realm of if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device. That's right. All of you have messaged us, said, yes, bring it back. We want more Warhammer 40k content. We need it. We got to have it. And today we continue on with Season 2, Episode 12 of If the Emperor had a text-to-speech device. Primarch Pessimism. This video is by Bruva Alfabusa, so please support the original content creators because it's the right thing to do. So be a hip, cool cat. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that ring bell notification. That way you're made aware when we at Chicago Reacts upload new content onto our YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's find out what's happening with Primarch Pessimism. What happens? What is going on? Is everything A-OK? Or is something else insidious happening in the background that we don't know about? So since I'm in charge of the ones and twos, let's play this video and find out what exactly is happening.
What the fuck was that?
You saw two, my emperor? You saw two?
I didn't know you could contact people through telepathy like that.
I was about to thank you for a job well done on stopping that Inquisitor, but then I remembered how headachingly retarded you are. Of course I can contact people telepathically. I'm the motherfucking Emperor.
Don't you forget it!
So, why have you...
And by the way, I think this is when they really started improving their animations. Shame on you, Games Workshop, for what you've done. How dare you take this joy away from us?
You could have done that earlier, like before the text-to-speech device was implemented.
I have you fucking Chiquita man. Quite a few times in fact.
Oh, really? No. I haven't heard anything at all.
Have you ever used telepathy?
No, I haven't, sir. I'm not a psycho. I think.
Then shut the fuck up about it. You're obviously not aware that using telepathy to communicate like that can be really straining on the mind.
But my lord, aren't you the greatest psycho in the galaxy? Shouldn't a little bit of telepathy be like taking a casual killing stroll through a field of alarmed elders?
It was easier in the past, when my psyche was ravished to lunacy, and splintered by the endless agonizing torment I received from sitting on this throne.
God, you know, I really have to wonder the Emperor's pain, like what he has to go through sitting on the golden throne. Is he self-aware of what's happening to him?
Slowly but surely I'm having my soul torn apart by the entropy of the war grinding against the powers of my mind, while my body decays in perpetual pain, and I'm being forced to live through every second of it.
Endless torment, my lord? Lunacy? Your soul being torn apart?
What?
You don't have to remind me about what I just said, you fucking asshole. I'm not that senile just yet.
I didn't know it was like that, my lord. I'm so sorry.
Isn't it obvious? I've been sitting here on this fucking throne for 10,000 years, slowly rotting away while constantly powering the Astronomicon and fighting off the horrors of the warp at the same time. It's no walk in the fucking park, you dipshit. Just sitting still without moving for this long is horrible. Can you even begin to imagine the muscle cramps I have experienced? Also, my nose has been itching like a lawnmower ever since I was put here. It doesn't even exist anymore, but it just keeps itching. And I know exactly who to blame for it.
Ergo, I hate you.
Okay, first of all, when the Chaos Gods got introduced and we saw them for who they are, I loved it. I loved it. We had a chance to meet the Chaos Gods, even though they are all pale imitations of the fifth one. What? There is no fifth Chaos God. There is no fifth Chaos God. you don't type anything in the comment section below. Shh. Our hour soon draws near.
Everything you stand for. But phantom itching is probably the best thing you ever invented. And then he'll explode, destroying mankind, and then he will join us as a new Chaos God! Just as planned! Oh, this excitement and torment is getting me so damn horny! And you please, stare next deep inside me and love it as hard as you can!
The ever-living motherfucking
Oh, Slanesh, you garbage can. Messing around with poor Corn's chain axe. You know what? Just to see that again one more time.
Oh, this excitement and torment is getting me so damn horny! And you please, stare next deep inside me and love it as hard as you can!
The ever-living motherfucking cock biscuit stole my chain axe!
Oh, my Emperor. To think that you suffered this absolutely atrocious fate to keep mankind alive. You truly are the graceful guardian of our entire species.
Truly he is.
That a lot. So yes, sitting on this throne for an extended period of time is absolutely grade A fucking awful.
But what do you use profanity all the time?
Shut up, you fucking cockstogies. And
Oh.
my fucking nose is killing me fucking damn.
I know. Let's change the subject. Maybe that'll get your mind off it.
Do it fucking fast. I'm feeling a giant warp storm incoming.
So how about those trade legions, huh?
Everyone, you have to listen. It better be important, number 87453. We are busy staring at this piece of metal.
Yeah.
We received absolutely technorific news.
Ooh, did they move Toaster 6 stage today?
Even better, they've found a new STC fragment on a planet right on the border of the Segmentum Solar, in the so-called Arroyor subsector.
Is this really true?
Yes, an expedition fleet is on its way right now.
Oh, I just oiled my robes.
And for all my loyal supporters in the Adeptus Mechanicus, yes, you have a special place in my beating flesh heart. And I want to say again, shout out to the wonderful Tech Priest Engine Seers that got my forces through Winter Assault and Dark Crusade. Were it not for the wonderful Tech Priest Engine Seers, my vehicles would not be able to destroy the enemies of the Emperor and the Omnissiah. So there you go. And because of that, in order to keep this alliance strong, to the Tech Priests of Mars, a shipment of Vitamixes are on their way. Hopefully, maybe, we might get a representative of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Maybe say a thank you to us in the comment section below. Maybe. Maybe!
Am I still alive? Oh, damn, I'm still alive.
Magnus, Fulgrim, Perturabo, Mortarian, Lower Guard, Conrad, Enron, Alfarius Omegon, and fucking Horus. My sons, created in the laboratories of Luna, made out of my very own genes. To think that they would ever fucking betray
Whoa! Well, my lord, Lee, Sleeman, Russ, Ferris, Nanis, Vulcan, Roble Dawn, Robert Gullivan, Sanguinius, Lionel Johnson, Jagatai Khan, and Corvus Corax remain loyal to you.
That's still not fucking good enough. I mean, I was a great fucking father to all of them.
Okay, so now for the big discussion. I'm talking to you, and you could please put your comments in the comment section below. But everyone, let's be polite to each other. We all have our opinions. Where do you stand on the Emperor being a good father or not? Did he truly love his sons? Or was he absolutely cold and indifferent to them? Did he view them only as weapons and tools? Was it a mixture of both? Did he first view them as tools and then eventually learn to love them as sons? And here's for a twisty twist, right? And this might be a little bit more, you know, controversial, maybe, right? But it has to deal with the Sigilite himself, right? Do you think their uncle was more of a parental figure, the Sigilite? Was he more of a father figure to the Primarchs? Because again, I think we need to remember that the Emperor, when he did create his Primarchs, there were 20 of them. We don't talk about the second and the 11th. And, the Sigilite, he had his own run-in with Horus when the second, I believe it was the second Primarchs, when the second Primarch's statue was being destroyed. It was him, Horus, Jagatai Khan, and I think it could have been Alfarius or Megan, who confronted well, they wanted to confront the Emperor, but they couldn't. That's interesting. So trying to think who else. I think it was Jagatai Khan, Horus. Anyways, back to the original question. So, do you think the Emperor loved his sons? Was he indifferent? Did he view them coldly and then view them as sons? Was the Sigilite more of a father figure to the Primarchs? So there you go.
Even if they all had their obvious flaws, Magnus being a nerdy fucking bookworm, and a psyker not ever being able to stand up to the brothers who bullied them over it, Fulgrim being a sissy fucking brown noser who would rather indulge himself in his secret quest to obtain more fabulous hair than me. To this day, he has not succeeded. Perturabo was always so volatile and childish, constantly bitching and moaning when he didn't get as he wanted. Mordarian constantly smelled like shit from day one.
Hold on, let's rewind it again. But by the way, hold on. Let's also have something else here too, especially when it comes down to Malcador. Because Malcador did mention too about the Primarchs, about them being easily controlled. I think, did Malcador the Sigilite also, did he also like to, and this just goes out to the heavy hitters in the lore, didn't he tell, like, the Emperor to be more involved with his sons, or, interesting.
I mean, I was a great fucking father to all of them, even if they all had their obvious flaws. Magnus being a nerdy fucking bookworm, and a psyker not ever being able to stand up to the brothers who bullied them over it. Fulgrim being a sissy fucking brown noser who would rather indulge himself in his secret quest to obtain more fabulous hair than me. To this day, he has not succeeded. Perturabo was always so volatile and childish.
Perturabo digs holes.
Constantly.
And by the way, hey, Imperial Fists and Iron Warriors. Fear the day when a Disney executive finally controls everything, right? From Warhammer 40k, and you're going to probably have someone come in, maybe a Kathleen Kennedy, with an Imperial Fist figure in one hand and an Iron Warriors in the other, and say, hey, how come these two guys can't be friends?
Bitching and moaning when he didn't get as he wanted. Mordarian constantly smelled like shit from day one.
Of all the traded Primarchs, I think good old Morty is nothing more than a piece of shit. I don't respect him. I think Mortarian's reason for betraying the Emperor was BS. And, yeah, it's petty. Okay, no offense to, again, all those supporters of the Death Guard, but I'm literally talking shit about your boy Morty.
Lorgar was a brainwashed choir boy with a massive victim complex. Conrad couldn't stand the little fucking sunlight and kept feeling.
Okay. Well, Conrad had extremely severe, scary mental issues and a horrible case of not just bipolar disorder, but maybe quad, septillion disorder. There's Conrad Kurz. You know, when Hank Hill says that boy ain't right, Conrad Kurz is the real definition.
Being persecuted by his fantasies about a dark and depressing future. Angron was constantly mad. Like extremely, earth-shatteringly, unreasonably fuck-ass mad.
Well, he did have the butcher's nails in his head.
Probably because he had those fucking nails in his brain. Alfarius Omegon had huge anonymity issues.
Alfarius? Who are you?
And fucking Horse started off nice and friendly, but then he decided to stop trusting me when I left for Terra and became an edgy rebel instead, leading all traitor legions to Terra and then put me on this fucking throne.
Right, my lord. It is no wonder the most flawed sons of yours betrayed you. The pure, noble, and flawless ones were to remain, naturally.
I'd agree with you, but no. Even the loyal ones were flawed as fuck. Leman Russ was bigoted, self-righteous, unnecessarily rash, and had a fetish for wolves. Ferris Manus was a brutish-ass crack with a survival of the fittest mindset, thinking all quote-unquote weakness within the human species needed to be destroyed. Vulcan died all the fucking time, and was always too damn nice.
Vulcan lives.
Rogaldorn was just way too uptight, and brutally honest, never capable of even telling a quite little lie to make someone feel better about themselves.
Oh, Rogel. No. Hey, Rogel, how come you don't want to meet your sons, the Black Templars? Because they're psychopaths. Or, hold on, my favorite one is when they were doing the audiobook reading. I am not mentally prepared to have a meeting with my wayward sons.
Robert Gilman always acted infallible in his steadfast claim to everything being held traditional, plain and unconfucking-ventional, yet wasn't as infallible as he wanted to believe. Lionel Johnson was just a mess, being both a self-absorbed, spiteful and envious prick and an honorable, courageous and dutiful warrior at the same time. Fucking confusing. Jagat Icon was always so fucking reckless and constantly hyped on speed. And lastly, Corvus Corax was always so infernally fucking angsty.
Oh, I see, my lord. Wait, what about Sanguinius?
Don't you talk shit about my fabulous fucking Hawk Boy. He died for me, so be grateful.
Oh, Hawk Boy! Hawk Boy! I would have loved to see the Texas speech device if they did a flashback where the Emperor was still in his original body and he was talking to Sanguinius. They're like, Hawk Boy, how are you? I'd be like, Father, stop calling me Hawk Boy. Okay, let's be critical of both the traitor Primarchs and of the loyalist Primarchs. Do you think the Emperor's criticism of them is spot on? Or were they, like it's been said about Space Marines, is that they're human too, just like us. Of course, they're demigods, let's be very clear. They're technically humans, but technically not. I think with reading Dark Imperium, I could understand how Gilliman was, kind of thought he was infallible, and now witnessing his actions and the last 10,000 years, he's realizing, like, I made a whole lot of terrible mistakes. But I mean, I obviously, I feel like personally, and he's one of my favorite of the Primarchs, I feel like he's wrongly been vilified by the community. I forget which book it was, but when he even confronts one of his sons, the Ultramarines, when he's finally awake, one of them's polishing his armor. The Ultramarine is polishing, his armor, not Gilliman's armor. And I think Gilliman says to him, "Hey, you're overdoing it." He's just I don't know. I think he sometimes gets a lot of unnecessary hate. Even with some of the traitor Primarchs too, because let's face it, some of them landed on really shit worlds, including the loyalist ones too. I mean, Angron, my goodness, that guy got screwed over. I mean, I only can imagine what Angron would be like if he didn't get the butcher's nails. What kind of person would he be? Would he be a good person, or would he be? I don't know. We may never know. Same thing with Conrad Kurz. You know, even though the guy clearly had a lot of mental issues, I mean, he landed on a very horrible and brutal world, and yet you have people like Mortarion who says, "My life was just as hard too." And yes, yes, yes. Anyone that's a fan of Mortarion, you know, he did live on a very harsh world. But the way Mortarion describes his childhood or growing up or his struggles, he's making it seem like he was the only one that really had to deal with them. And there's a couple of Primarchs that went through some more BS than him. And then there's Perturabo, who I think just wanted a place to belong. Alferis and Rhaegon, I'll never be able to figure them out. No one can. Magnus is the one I pity the most, though. Magnus and Fulgrim. Horus, I don't know how he got tricked. He literally got tricked to join Chaos. As for the Loyalist Primarchs, I already gave my opinions what I think about Reboot Gilliman. I don't think Vulcan was too nice. I mean, obviously, if you're gonna tick him off, he's gonna knock your head off. But I think he saw the best in humanity and the best in his brothers. So I won't call him too nice. He just saw the best in people. Let's see. Corvus Corax. Let's see. Geez. The John Wick on steroids. Okay. Let's see who else is there. There's also Ferrus Manus. I'm not going to give an opinion on him because I really don't know too much about Ferrus, and that's my fault. So, audience, enlighten me a little bit about Ferrus Manus. Let's see, who else we got here? We've got Rogel Dorn. You know what? He's up there with the Primarchs, like with Gilliman of the Loyalists. I respect Rogel Dorn. I like that he was honest and really stepped up of being the Praetorian for Earth and the War Master when Earth was under siege, or Holy Terror was under siege. Jaghatai Khan. Yeah, he's up there too. Jaghatai was vilified by a lot of people because I think a lot of people assumed he would betray the Emperor, and when confronted by Horus, Jaghatai was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." Jaghatai was his own person. I think honestly, if he was left alone, I don't think he would ever got involved. But he had an honor code that I can respect. Let's see. What else? Okay, so the Jaghatai Khan. Leman Russ. I like that he was rash. The Wolf King was a powerful warrior. But I think his rage and emotion would get the better of him. And then Lionel Johnson. Of the First Legion. His Legion was given the most weapons and secret gear. And I think in many ways, while he was not the Emperor's executioner and enforcer, he was the Emperor's, I guess, judge, or he was the justice or the sense of honor. And hell, he even went to Ultramar because he went to see if Gilliman really was betraying the Emperor, if he was not with Horus, but he was doing his own thing. And I think Lionel Johnson really wanted to set himself apart from his brothers. And I think in many ways his pride kind of blinded him to the fact that, you know, while he probably did have a lot of persuasion and power, none of his brothers would probably follow him, similar to Horus. And I think maybe Lionel Johnson felt like that position of War Master probably belonged to him, or should have gone to him. And then there's Sanguinius. Of all the Primarchs, people have said, and at least according to lore too, that he was the most like the Emperor. And I have to wonder, like, was Sanguinius that person in the family that everyone respected, you know, or like, because I could rarely think of any incident, at least in recent lore, where Sanguinius had an outright open conflict with his brothers, save for Angron before he turned, and this is when they were still loyalists, when the World Eaters were still loyalists, where Angron muttered under his breath about Sanguinius, like he called him a mutant or something. I don't know. Audience, correct me if there's something I'm missing. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on the Primarchs.
Alright, of course. Well, what about those other two Primarchs?
We don't talk about them.
We don't talk about them.
We don't talk about them.
Why?
Because we don't talk about them.
Learn the lesson that Malcador the Sigillite gave to Horus. Learn the lesson that the Sigillite said to Lehman Russ. Do not speak of them. They are gone from us. They are gone forever.
Right, I won't ask it. However, I just cannot understand why they'd betray you.
I know, right? I mean, sure, Lowergard grew up on a planet full of chaos worshippers, but that doesn't mean he could then start using his fucking brain. Especially once I came along to straighten him out. The rest seemingly just did it because they either were corrupted by chaos through Lordgard, took too much offense when I told them I had some daddy things to do back on Terra, or when I tried to correct them when they were doing stupid things.
I have to ask, since that's apparently my duty nowadays.
Hmm?
Why did you not tell them what you were going to do back on Terra?
Well, what was I supposed to say? I can't just tell my own children that I'm building a gate into the webway because I need some booty and Eldar prostitutes are cheaper and a lot less shoddy.
Hey, the Emperor's got to get laid, right? Old Big E's got to have some action on the side.
Sorry, what?
I said, I can't just tell them that I'm building a gate into the webway because humanity needs some booting up in its transportation department and Eldar webways are safer and a lot less shoddy than warp travel.
Oh, that's what I thought.
I could not take any risks with this project, and telling my sons would indeed have created unnecessary risks. Their trust in me should not have swayed when I left. It's not like I'm demanding full access disclosure to their everyday lives, even if I am their father. I mean, imagine if I had, for example, stepped into Lionel Johnson's room and been all like, hey sonny, how's building that homosexual nightclub coming along for you?
Oh yes, I fully understand, my lord.
In fact, as well as returning to Terra to build the human webway, I guess you could also say that I was testing them to see how my sons would work together without me to guide them.
That didn't work, obviously. And hey, hold on. This might cause a flame war, but who do you think would have been a better War Master? Or should the title of War Master never been created in the first place? So there you go. Let's all be polite to each other's answer to our responses to that question.
As it turned out, not much better than regular humans left to their own devices.
I see. Can I ask about another thing?
You're going to anyway, regardless of how I answer, aren't you?
Even if all of your sons are obviously flawed, isn't there anything good about them? I mean, even the ones who betrayed you, is there anything good you see in them?
Well, now that you mention it.
And to all of my friends in the Warhammer 40k community, I don't think we ever got a response to that. I don't think we ever really heard the Emperor say anything in regards towards how he truly viewed his sons. Anything positive. I wonder. I truly wonder. And maybe if the series was allowed to continue on Games Workshop, we would probably get that answer. So there you go. All right. Obviously, love to continue on with this series. So please give us your feedback, your thoughts in the comment section below. It's you guys and gals that make sure that we're able to do this kind of content. And we do appreciate all feedback. So if this is stuff you want us to do and continue on, please type it in the comment section below, because the more likes and comments we get on this video, the more views, obviously, the more we want to react to this. Plus, hey, this is a chance to also support the original content creators, because if you're not following them, they're doing their own original series since they stopped doing the text-to-speech device. So support the original content creators. It's the right thing to do. Come on, be a hip, cool cat. Do the right thing. And yeah, so there you go. All right, folks, we're going to be wrapping up this episode. I want all of you to keep on winning and enjoy your cup of recap. I'm Kit, and I'm out of here.